Matthew 12:39. Hode apokrithes, epen autois, genea panera kai moikalis, semean epizete, kai semean uda thesetai aute, eme ta semean iona, tu prophetu. Remember that right before this, some of the scribes and Pharisees have said to Jesus, we want to see a sign from you. But he, notice how the article here, ha, functions basically like a personal pronoun. And in narrative, you can go back and forth, ha, hoy, ha, he, they. So here we have, but he, answering, that's just a pleonastic participle of speech, answering said to them, that's the second aorist of lego. What did he say? He said, an evil and adulterous generation seeks a sign, and a sign will not be given to it. Notice how the generation there is a feminine noun, so it's replaced with a feminine pronoun. And then Jesus finishes off here by saying, except the sign of Jonah, the prophet. There we have a genitive, just epexegetical or genitive of apposition. Who is Jonah? Well, restating who he is tu prophetu. He is the prophet. Let's also look at this da thesetai. We've told you many times, you probably already hear it in your mind right now. Whenever you see a word with a da or do, see a da or do, you know it is coming from didomi, the verb meaning to give. We see that theta, and we also, it's probably coming to your mind. You think, oh, that's a easy chair. Somebody's feeling passive. Yes, this is a future passive indicative, and that's just a third person singular ending. A sign will not be given. That's a future passive. Will not be given to it. Let's look at one other thing. Let's look at this apokrithes. We saw that verb recently in a previous verse. That's from the verb apokrinomai. Remember, middle only. And that theta, again, is marking a passive form that's functioning in the middle way. This is actually a participle. I'll remind you of the participle forms, luthes, luthesa, luthen. Maybe you had to memorize the form luthes. That's the aorist passive participle, nominative, masculine, singular. That's the form we have here, except we'll call it a medial passive. We'll say aorist medial passive participle, nominative, masculine, singular. Why is it nominative, masculine, singular? Well, it's telling us about Jesus, who is the nominative, masculine, singular subject. He, answering, right? It's a very common Semitic way of speaking to sort of pile up two different ways to introduce the speech here. He, answering, said to them, and then the quotation continues.